Well, hey everyone, I'm Stuart. Don't you just love a bargain marketplace find? I certainly do. In this video, we're going to take a look at a Beta video cassette recorder from 1980. Hang about while we get it out of the box and see what it takes to get it working. Well, look at the size of this thing. What makes me wonder is how this machine is actually still in this box after all this time. Do you think it was because it was just superseded? Family went out and bought a VHS machine? Or did it suffer a failure? Or was it problematic? Somehow they kept the box and it just went back into the box. It's an unknown, but look at this. How to repack the VCR set. Put the set in the polyethylene bag. Put the accessories into the case A and close the flaps of the carton. Well, you know what? This actually looks like the original cover. I remember back in the 80s, some people used to actually keep these covers over their machines. And yet this is all sticky and horrible. Yuck. I wonder if that could actually be cleaned. Oh, it actually has a slot there, so that's probably the slot where you look at the clock maybe. Yuck. This thing weighs about as much as a bag of cement, so somewhere between 10 and 20 kilos. The first thing I'm seeing here is this bag. A dirty bag. Look, Bank Commonwealth, that's actually one of our Australian banks, the Commonwealth Bank. So this would be an old cash bag for a business or something. It's a strange looking thing. I don't actually know what that is. I know what that is, that's a remote control. Can just make this out, I've got my glasses on. Made in Japan, remote control transmitter model VC87, is it? And this remote control receiver model VC87R, DC 12 volt. Well, judging by the front of that, I'm saying this actually, well, the transmitter talks to this and this talks to the actual machine, which is kind of odd. You think that would just be in the machine, but maybe not back then. But how cool is that for these to be in the box? Because I imagine a lot of these players no longer have the remote controls, so that is awesome. Well, I don't really want to go breaking foam. Oh, okay. My God. Well, I didn't break the foam. The foam was already broken and someone's put some tape on it to hold it together. But what's a little bit sad is there's no owner's manual. It would have been nice to have an owner's manual. I'm sure that you could get a copy of the owner's manual online. Maybe. There is something here. Let's have a look at this. This came out. What is this? Toshiba. It's not an owner's manual, but what is it? You know what I'm going to need? I'm going to need these to read that. That's like micro writing. Oh, this is actually talking about a video cassette tape. So oh yeah, look. But it is Toshiba. Still got the stickers. Beta. Alright, that's nothing exciting. Oh, well, I guess it is kind of cool. But, alright, let's turn this thing around. So what will we do with this? I'm guessing, to play it on the safe side, I will open this up and look at the belts. So I do have some belt kits here. Hopefully I've got enough belts here, because I'm pretty sure we're going to look in here and find some belts that have either just completely broken away or belts that have just gone rock hard. So we'll do some belt replacement first, then we'll power it up, and I might even get a period correct TV out here and match it up to connect to. And we've got some old beta cassettes here. I'm not going to actually. The only nice beta cassette I've actually got, well, I wouldn't even call it nice, is a copy of Aliens, but I'm not going to put Aliens in here in case this machine destroys it. So we've just got some crappy movies here, some test tapes to hopefully get this working. So from here we'll open it up and take a look. Actually, one more thing was that I already did go online and look at the model number, and there is actually a couple of websites. One of them in particular actually shows some troubleshooting stuff for this model, which is absolutely fantastic. What have we got here? Is this read owner's manual? Well, that would help if I had one. And there's no front flap. So remote control. So it obviously could come with a wired remote control, or is that my, oh no, look, that, so this actually plugs in here, does it? Oh yeah. So that plugs in, and where did you put that off to the side like that? Okay. So I don't think this actually requires batteries. There's no battery compartment. The actual remote control itself takes the small little button batteries, 44s. So to try and pick them out, they don't want to fall out. I hope they haven't gone corroded in there. What have we got? It has gone corroded in there, that's why they're not falling out. So yeah, look at that. But doesn't look too bad. Those contacts will clean up, but what happens is sometimes the acid goes in further and can actually do further damage than just the battery compartment. Oh, so that battery wasn't as bad. Oh, so only really one battery was quite corroded there, so maybe there's hope to fix that up. All right, let's go back to normal glasses. Okay. So how does this open electronically? It feels mechanical to me. Eject. No, I'm guessing eject feels like a button, so it must have some sort of solenoid release or motor release for the tape compartment to actually open. Cosmetically, it's actually in pretty nice condition. I reckon this will clean up quite nice. This will actually look kind of great as part of a display piece with a sort of period correct TV. So but even better if we can get it working. So let's have a crack at that. Well, I just did a little bit of poking and prodding off the camera because it just would have made for a bit of boring footage, but I then sort of realised the only way this case was coming apart was these 1, 2, 3 screws and hopefully getting the top off, because there didn't appear to be any belts on the underside. I shone the torch inside and realised it's all just circuit board at the bottom. So then I undid these 3 screws and then realised I couldn't get this plastic top off with this down. So I thought, okay, all right, well, I have to chance it with plugging in the machine to power to get this open. The minute I plugged this in, this just popped up. I don't know if that's supposed to just pop up automatically or it's because I had already pressed this button. Oh, well, I got that on camera. Wow, that just scared me. I reckon that's a power supply cap. Well, it's unplugged now and it's... I let the smoke out, it's still smoking. I really hope that was just power supply, but look, what I was saying is that I had plugged it in to get this open, which that worked, which now means I can take this cover off. I guess I left that power on a little bit too long, but if that's just a power supply cap, it might still be all right. Who knows what that was that just blew. The good news is that's power supplyville, so I'm okay with something blowing in the power supply. That's generally easy fix. All right, so let me grab the camera. Something just exploded in here. Scared me in the process. I can't actually see it yet. I'm going to say good chance it was a capacitor, so once I get this open, we'll try and work out what happened there. It's not the first time I've had a exploding capacitor, especially go off with a decent bang too. So. Well, I'm just going to leave this capacitor out of circuit now. It's some kind of filter capacitor. I've got to work out what it actually is because I cannot read it, but for now it works without it, so we'll change it later. Well, I've cut that capacitor out, that blue. We've got a function light on and a flashing clock. So I've got a station 1 or channel 1 light lit. So if I pop that down, it just seems to be automatic when I plug and unplug this thing, which I'll do. So when I plug it in, when I plug this thing in, it just pops up, right? Okay. What really worries me is this corrosion down on this motor. Top and bottom. Oh yeah, you can see it there. Why the motor's gone corroded, I don't know. If that's dead and there's no suitable replacement, well, that's the end of it for this machine. But you never know, it might be repairable. I'm going to say with the amount of corrosion around it, it's locked up, but there's no evidence of this machine having received water or moisture. Everything else has seemed like it's never had moisture. All this metal components, there's no sign of anything else rusty except this motor, like it's got something in it that has just gone corrosive, like a battery. Yeah, it's definitely a motor. Be some kind of DC motor, I would say. So I've just been through a belt kit, and the belts aren't perfect. Some of the replacement belts I got here are actually a thinner gauge, I would say, you would call it, or thickness if you like. But I'm not going to go out and buy specific belts for this thing just yet. That would be a bit silly in case it's this thing never works again. It's kind of pointless putting new belts in it. So these are the belts I have selected out for the machine for now, and if it does work then I'll go get purpose belts. This main belt off this motor here to here, that actually looks like it will be the correct size, and it's a wide belt. I don't know if you can see that there. I have to go and carefully clean all the old belt off because there's bits of gooey sticky belt all over the place. And then there's some of the smaller belts from there to there, there to there, there, and there's another little pulley behind this one that goes to over here. So I'll carefully dig that all out now, and then I'll probably get the vacuum cleaner because the bits are probably going to fall down here, and so I'll need to vacuum cleaner it out. But some of them are coming off reasonably clean, but then others are just all gooey. Okay, well look at that. It's been running for about half an hour in play, and can we get this, even if I shine the torch in there, you can actually see a cassette going round and round, yay. So all belts are done, except I've got two belts here which aren't exactly correct, but tension can't be too bad, but they are O-rings, and you really need that sort of square drive belt to engage in the V pulley properly. So later those two will have to be replaced if this actually does end up being a working unit. So to get this belt in here, this is like a shift fork, like in a motorbike gearbox. It's a shift fork. It's shifting a drum in between those two pulleys, and this has to come out to put that belt in, and there's a little screw on the other side of this bracket which holds all that together. Undo that, you can pull out the shift fork, and then that enabled me to put that drive belt on here, which I'm touching now. Turns out I couldn't get at the back of this one, and there ended up being a lump of old belt, which you can see going around on that back one at the moment, and I've just left it for now. I'm not too bothered. Like I say, I've got to get this thing back together now and actually see if it's giving me a picture and sound, and if it's not going to give me too much grief, I'll then go to the extra effort to replace those drive belts to exact specs, I suppose you would say, and then probably give this unit a little bit more love. But for now, we're going to put it back together and set it up to a TV. All right, well, it is rewinding. Stop. Fast forward. I've got a couple of squeaks, but it's all working. Even this mechanical counter's going for it. Stop. Play. Yeah, the counter's slowly turning. The tape's turning. Also, it is, which one's eject? This one. Eject. And that all seems to be working fine. It's a part of it I didn't have to touch. Yeah, so that's a miracle. And then it just automatically loads the tape. Quite a different loading mechanism compared to the VHS I've seen. Well, it's hooked up. It is actually playing. I do get a picture there, you can see picture. Audio is right, and audio sounds like it's at speed. I'll turn that down a bit. What's great about this is it has a composite out, and the TV has this old TV, believe it or not, has a SCART in. So that's how I connected it.
Okay, the river's pretty much due east. You can work up the bank, or you can go down here, work up the middle, or you can go north of east.
Let me turn this volume down.
Whether it's paddy fields, buildings, or what.
Volume.
Hey, where'd you get around?
All right, that's better. Okay. So picture, you know what I'm going to try first is the simple thing, is a couple other tapes. See what the difference is. Then what do? Try some cleaning. And then if that doesn't work, I'll go on some forums and start chatting with people and see what I can do from there. All right, well, look, it's working, but it wasn't easy. I did spend a few hours on it. I did end up pulling this head half apart and cleaning it further, and then I did unsolder the wires to the heads and got them right out, and then I put the little microscope on the heads and had a closer look, and once I realised they were okay, I thought, well, I can put some more time into it. Put it back together, still not a proper picture. Sorry, then I realised there's lots of slop in all these mounting screws. So while the tape was running and I was looking at the picture, I moved this top plate around that holds the head. Well, actually this top plate does not hold the head, but it's kind of part of the alignment. One of the heads didn't feel like it was protruding out far enough when I had a bit of paper on there with the alcohol, and the heads were running past my finger. 3 of the heads I could feel, 1 I couldn't really, so moving this head around maybe had an effect there. Anyway, while I was doing that, I was looking at the picture. Then all of a sudden I got a picture and colour came through. I just froze and locked up these Phillips head screws, and it's been working ever since. So I've run through some tapes. I'll now put the cover back on. I think I'm just going to leave it as it is and run a few tapes through it, see what happens. I'll put the cover back on now, and I think it's time to watch Aliens. Well, last words. Well, that was a lot of fun bringing this beta machine back to life. It could have been a totally different story if something was wrong with it that was beyond me. It could have just ended up on the scrap heap with a bunch of other VCRs that I have here. Well, if you like that, you know what to do, and I'll see you on the next one.